So you're looking at the iPad mini 5, whether it's for school or home life, office work, whatever, but you're not quite sure if it's right for you, especially in regard to the form factor. And I thought I'd do a video today here kind of going over how apps, scale on this device and what to expect, at a device at this size. But before we continue here, I'd really appreciate it if you leave a like on this video, comment if you have any questions, suggestions, or opinions, as the algorithm likes that and will help push my content to more people. So without wasting any more time, let's jump into if the iPad mini 5 is right for you, especially in regard to the form factor. So yeah, say you're eyeing the iPad mini 5, it sits in a price range sweet spot between the Air 3. It's not quite as expensive, but it's just as powerful, and it's more powerful than the 2018 iPad. But it's small, and the form factor might entice you. But yeah, maybe you're just not sure as to how, things scale and how the user experience is going to be. Obviously, I'm going to say go to the store and experience the iPad yourself. But if you don't have that luxury, or you just don't feel like doing that, or you just want to hear my opinion, that's what I'm here to do today. I'm just going to talk about the form factor and who this iPad is really for. So beginning with the display here, it is 7.9 inches diagonally. It has the same resolution as the 2018 9.7-inch iPad. However, it has a higher pixel density. Things are going to look a little bit more sharp, and it also has True Tone technology, and the display itself is laminated to the glass, so it has a higher quality look to it. There's no air gap, is what I'm saying. And just for a size comparison, here is my XS Max. So as you can see here, I would say in terms of just display size, because really like the 10 is really just all display except for the notch. It's like, 1 and like 3/4 of an iPhone XS Max. So you are getting a decent display size, especially in the horizontal axis. You're getting a lot of horizontal screen space. But yeah, it is still manageable. You can use 2 fingers to type, which is something I really do enjoy, or 2 thumbs, so you can reach all of the letters on the keyboard. And yeah, I would say this is a one-handable device, and I really do enjoy that. It's like Kindle size, so you can just kind of hold it comfortably. It's not as heavy. You don't feel like you're gonna drop it, as there's not like a bunch of other space like beyond your fingers here. So yeah, it's just really nice to hold in the hand. It's small, it's compact, and just for like reading and web surfing and texting, it feels kind of more like a phone in that regard, but still has that iPad quality, the bigger size. Once again, it has more horizontal screen space, and that is something, once again, I really do enjoy about this device. So enough of me rambling here. Let's jump into a couple apps just to give you a better idea as to, how things scale with this device. So let's go into iMessage here. As you can see, I have enough room to use both of my thumbs on the keyboard. If we go into landscape mode, obviously it's going to be a little bit more hard, but you can still type, using your fingers. And I would say it's small, but definitely manageable. Not too small to the point where it's like unusable. But obviously, if you're going to want to, type like this, you're going to want to get a bigger iPad, but this is not an issue, I don't think. Let's go into the YouTube app here. I really do enjoy content consumption with this device, as you can kind of lay in bed with it, just kind of have it propped up, like next to you, like on your pillow, and it's not totally huge to the point where you feel like it's gonna fall on your face. But you can just kind of hold this, and it's bigger than your phone, so that is something to keep in mind if you're someone who is all about, content consumption, but you don't want something too huge, or, you don't really want to rely on your phone all the time. And another thing with the Mini here that I noticed is that the speaker quality isn't quite as loud. So let me just play something non-copyrighted here just to kind of give you an idea. So from my experience, the Mini is not quite as loud as like my Air 2 or the 2018 iPad, but it's still loud enough, and I would say, louder than maybe your typical smartphone. I think that the iPhone XS Max is better sound quality, obviously, because it has stereo speakers and it has better bass. But for some music listening and YouTube watching, you should have absolutely no problem. And you also get a headphone jack here, unlike the iPad Pro, so that is something also to keep in mind. I'm probably going to do a separate video on this, but here is LumaFusion on the Mini, and you might want to use this on here because you have the A12X within this device. It's super powerful, and yeah, things are definitely smaller, but if you have the Apple Pencil and you just want to edit on the go, I don't see this being a huge problem. If you airdrop, say you film with your iPhone, or you airdrop footage to it or whatever, you can definitely get away with this. Obviously, if you're doing this for a living, I would say get a Pro or get a bigger device. But if you're doing some casual video editing, I don't really see this being a huge issue. I mean, the size is big enough. Once again, I would say for me, this is not too small, but if I could get something bigger, I definitely would. Going into an app like Notability, if you are all about the form factor, you like the one-handability, you just want to, take some notes, this is something I can see somebody getting away with, you know. This is definitely big enough to, you know, jot a couple notes down. This is a note. I always have the stupidest things I come up with for these videos when I'm writing, but I don't really have a problem writing with this. Honestly, I would enjoy taking notes with this, and I do enjoy the small form factor, and, you know, you could use like this mode or whatever. So I am writing in cursive. I think you have enough room here. If you are taking notes, you don't want to spend a bunch of money, you want to have that form factor, and you want the power that comes with the Mini 5, you could definitely get away with, you know, editing PDFs and doing, you know, some simple note taking here, 100%. Let's hop into GoodNotes here for a minute if you are someone who likes to use that more. So hi, my name is Noah. We can use the zoomed mode, I'm pretty sure, wherever that is. Here we go. This makes it easier to write. So yeah, I have a Pro 11, so obviously I'm going to enjoy note-taking on that a little more, or a lot more actually, because the bigger screen and the higher refresh rate. But I will say, again, I will repeat myself here as I usually do, if you are someone who values this form factor and isn't on a budget, you can definitely take notes on here pretty comfortably. So let me demo drawing the best way I can here. Apple's Notes app has a decent little like pencil feature for sketching. Obviously, just like with note taking, if you're going to be doing drawing, the bigger the screen, the better. But again, if you don't have the money to spend and you want the A12X without having to pay, you know, like $4.99 or more, I definitely could see somebody getting away with drawing, you know, with Procreate or Autodesk with this iPad. And if you're someone who likes the cute size of this iPad, then, you know, all the power to you. And if you're using the first gen Apple Pencil, this is actually a pretty decent drawing experience. I am having no trouble sketching out this horrible, you know, shaded sphere here. I don't know, maybe they can like draw like a letter. I'll draw like a letter A and like pretend like I'm doing some kind of illustration for you. Yeah, I actually have enough room. Obviously, once again, the bigger the screen, probably the better. But if you don't have the money to spend, and again, if you enjoy the form factor, you can definitely draw with the iPad mini comfortably, and you know, you're not going to have too many issues, you know, going forward or working with it all the time. Let's check my email here with this device, and like I said, it has a similar vertical resolution to that of like the XS Max or a bigger phone, but it has that extra horizontal resolution, which makes the, you know, experience really nice here. Let's do some web surfing right quick. I don't know, I'll search the news. We can go into the reader mode to kind of demo how the screen looks. Let's go to CBS. Let's go into the reader mode if we can. Yeah, here we go. So show reader view. So yeah, I will say this is a great device for, you know, reading books. Like I said, it's that kind of nice small Kindle size. You can hold it with both hands pretty comfortably. Let's go into the actual news app here, just kind of see, because I know some people use that. I actually do sometimes. So yeah, I would say it is a great and comfortable device for consuming, you know, news or text on. Obviously, if you have trouble seeing, you know, if you're like my parents who are always putting on their reading glasses, maybe a bigger device might be better. But this is definitely a big enough device. You can make the text big enough, and I could see people with, you know, some sight impairment being able to, you know, read without an issue. So moving on to gaming really quick here. I don't have a lot of games on my device to begin with, but if you'd like a gaming test with the Mini 5 here, please leave me a comment. But what I can say is that just like all the other categories or, you know, the things you could do with this device, the form factor does make the experience enjoyable. Once again, as it's not quite as, you know, small as a phone and gives you more of that horizontal screen space, but also isn't quite as behemoth as, you know, like a bigger 9.7 inch or 10.5 inch iPad. So if you're someone who is, you know, about that form factor as we have kind of gone over here, it's definitely a nice device to play some games on, like Clash of Clans and, I don't know, like Plants vs. Zombies. I haven't really done iOS gaming, so I can't really tell you, but yeah, the gaming experience is definitely a good one. So my major takeaway here, if you are somebody who wants power but you don't want to spend like $100 more for a bigger screen, or you actually want a smaller, more compact display, this is definitely the device for you. You can get away with a variety of tasks, you know, like I said, note-taking, video editing, video watching very comfortably, and the experience at this size is very enjoyable. As I said, it falls right between, you know, the bigger tablet category and the big smartphone category. That's why the Mini exists, as people, you know, there's a demographic of people who want this form factor, and, you know, just using it for about a week, I can say it is a very enjoyable one, and I highly encourage you, if you are still unsure, to go to the store and check it out for yourself. And that about wraps things up. I hope this video helped you out. I'd really appreciate it if you leave a like on this video, comment if you have any questions or suggestions, and subscribe for more content like this. And as always, I'm Noah, and I will catch you all in the next one.